I may have sold the 04, but oh boy, I sold it to hit a deer. So now I get to fix it. Like so many small southern Kansas towns and towns everywhere, deer are everywhere. In fact, where I live, they've become a nuisance animal. So, guy come out of work out of Belle Plaine the other night and tagged a deer, just screwed it up. But the good thing is the hood's still good, and the fender got a dent in it, but we can pop that out. But what really screwed up was the header panel. So we're going to put a new header panel on there. I got one, but it's not white. So I thought it'd be kind of neat to get it all straightened up, paint it, and then just kind of go from there. So I got to go to Harbor Freight, get some painter stands, and then just kind of go from there. And then yeah. I ended up accidentally swinging by the pawn shop, and I bought an impact because, well, I got something else I need to fix too. So let's get this done, and we can get on to the other thing. I blew the axle seal out in the black and white, so that's coming too. But so let's get to Harbor Freight, and we can get back to the house and get this thing together. Well, we made it. So let's venture in there and see what happens. So we found a pair of painter stands and something else. Let me show you what I got. Found these two work stands here. If I'd known they were these portable work stands, if I'd known they were this small and I had to assemble them, I would have just driven the car. But let me show you what else I got. On their discount table in the back, they had its axle bearing puller set for, in fact, it wasn't even this expensive. It was $23.98. Well, come on, open up, you heifer. There we are. Yeah, so 3 of them, and hopefully I don't need them, but I got to do the axle on the Crown Vic, so maybe. But truthfully, for $20.74, I couldn't beat it. So let's get back to the house, and I'll show you everything I got for this venture. Well, it's about 105 degrees outside, and I had to mow the yard. But it's too hot for the camera equipment right now, and it's just too hot for me. And so I'm going to go inside and cool off, and we'll have to catch you early tomorrow morning just because it's just too hot out here. So see you in the morning. So it's pretty late at night. I know I'd said I'd get to you in the morning, but decided I was going to pull these parts down. I got 2 complete front ends up here and a Torino bumper. That one was a fluke, and that one was also a fluke. And the bumper, yeah, got a lot of stuff up here. I'm wanting to say I got another front end up here somewhere, but I don't know where. So one of these has to come down, but I need to build one of those stands first to set it on, because I'm going to have to take it apart to scuff it up to paint it. But let me show you what I got over here. So I bought this today. This is for something else I needed, but yeah, I paid much better price than what it's advertised here. But I got these stands. I got 2 of them. I got some sandpaper. 180 and 400. We don't have to kill it. Got a water. Yeah, I need that for the Torino. That's something else. And this right here, this Color Max Paint and Primer Semi-Gloss. And the reason I got this was because, well, it's not metal. So it being a semi-gloss, worst comes to worst, I can give it a light sanding. And I actually have some actual color that's that performance white. It's somewhere around here. It's somewhere around here. But this is close enough for now. But since we're not painting metal, we're painting, you know, basically a fiberglass part. All we really need to do is scuff it up, clean it up, and give it a quick spray. And we do it right, chances are we're not going to have any problem with it. And truthfully, it's Krylon paint and primer. Since we don't need to really seal anything because there's going to be no rust, that'll actually probably, if we do it right, that thing will last longer than the actual paint on it. I know it'll last longer than the paint that's on that other one, I'll tell you that right now. Every time I go to the car wash, it looks like glitter all over the walls, and one of these days that car wash guy's going to find me, and I'm gonna owe him some real explanations. So let me put this stand together. So as you see, this is what it entails. It apparently is made from the finest Chinesium. So I need to get into the directions here and how this thing's put together so we can get that out and get that ready to go tomorrow. So a few minutes later, we got it put together. I'm sure there's going to be some extra parts somewhere, and in fact there was, but I'm not worried about that now. So let's get this out of the ceiling, and I don't know what I'm doing here. It works. It's what I want. So let's get this out and show you what we're up to. So we got it out. There's a very specific reason why I got this one out, mainly because it's the one I could get out. A little bit of damage here. When they took it out, they pulled it. This is the one I got that's a parts car from those doors over there. But it will work with what we're doing. I don't like that, but bolts go in there. It should work. In fact, it'll make things easier. Same way on this side. They got impatient and just pulled. But good thing is all these other mounting tabs should be fine. So we need to pop these headlights out and flip it over and see what we're in for. Let's see. Yeah, it should just come right out. Alright, so we got it stripped down and all that, so we need to clean it. The grill's over here. That came out relatively easy. 4 bolts on top, 3 bolts on top, a dowel pin, and 4 clips on the bottom. I could have swore there was a 4th one. I guess I was wrong. So where'd that one break? Well, that one broke. Huh. I wonder if it's... Oh, there it is. Well, that sucks. I guess it was broken from the get-go, so I'll have to epoxy that back in. I've got some epoxy in the house. I'll get that ready to go. I'll clean this up. I'm going to clean it all up with some soap and water, get it sanded down, and give it its first coat. Okay, we've got a bit of sanding done. Let me show you where we're at. You know, it's important. We don't have to paint under here because that's going to be hidden. These edges, like when we wash it, you'll see where this will pop. So you're going to want to hit this again around here because this was gloss paint. So we've got to get all the gloss off it where we're going to be painting. I'm not going to worry too much about it in here, but I'll get these sides here. You can see some of the metallic here. And we'll just go over this all once again. We're going to wash it, go over it once again, and then once it dries, it'll be ready for the first coat. This is why we got the primer and the paint together. You know, we're going to put the primer in. Listen, guys, we don't have to reinvent the wheel here. We just have to get the gloss out of it so the paint will stick, and make sure it's clean so the paint will stick. The paint will stick to a rough surface. So once we get this done, we might go over it with the 400 real quick. Then we'll paint it, and then she should do well. So let me finish this up before I paint it. I'll probably do about half of it and show you, and then we'll get back here. So let's get to it. So I got the first coat on, and it looks like utter crap, but that's all right. Got a little spot down here I'm going to have to sand, but all this will get a second coat tomorrow. I need to see it in the sunlight first. There's a bit of trash in it and all that, but truthfully, this stuff isn't going to be seen, and I just needed to make everything kind of uniform because of this gray, silver, slate, whatever color it was underneath. Like this right here, this will be covered up. Oh, that won't. I'll have to fix that. And then I'll run it over with the 400 tomorrow, smooth it all out, clean it, and then give it one more coat. The reason I didn't show you painting it as well, too, I don't have anybody here with me. It's midnight. And I don't have a technique, you know. Dave, show me your technique. I can't because there is none. So I've got the grill epoxying right now. Fix that. I've got this going right here. I actually do have some performance white paint, and as soon as I get this sanded down a little bit, maybe another coat, I'm going to find that performance white tomorrow. That's going to be the top color, and then this will be ready to go on. So I got a can and a half of this. This is performance white. That's what these Crown Vics were. Well, at least that's what mine was, and that's what this one's going to be. So So I'm done here for tonight. I'm going to do just a quick little touch up, let it dry for the night. I'm going to build up a couple of spots that are a little thin. That way when we spray that on, we don't have to really lay it on, because that stuff, you think this mix match primer is expensive. That stuff's real expensive, especially performance white. And then tomorrow I'll come through here with some 400 wet dry. I'll knock down the high spots, get those runs out of it, and then put it back together, and we'll be ready to take it over and put it on the car. So we'll see you tomorrow. So it's early the next morning. Really early the next morning. So let me show you what happened. I just popped the... First time I see it myself this morning. So let's take a look at the front end. So it came out okay. There's a bunch of trash in it. Not really a big deal. Not really worried too much down here. All this is going to get covered up. Just basically this spot right here I'm going to clean up, and in fact that's completely smooth. That smoothed itself out. So that little run look right there, I can actually cover that with another layer of paint. So let me smooth a bit of this out, and we'll get another layer of paint on this, and should be ready to reassemble. Okay, so I just hit it with a little bit of wet dry. Got my bucket of water and my 400 grit right there. As you can see, the water running down. I just did the top, hit the high spots here, smooth that spot out a little bit, and like I said, that's smooth. So what I'm going to do is, well, wash it again because I just touched it, and then give it one more coat with that stuff there. Yay. The factory paint or factory duplicolor match should even it all out just perfectly. So it also has a better spray nozzle on it. It's the kind that fans, so you can really actually do a much better job. So let me get some got some alcohol over here, something to clean it off with, and clean that off, respray it, and then we can start reassembly. These color match nozzles are fantastic. You can see them here. Just try it on the bottom here to get your thing right. See how they kind of just fan out. There's not a lot of paint in these cans. That's why I chose to do the regular primer stuff first. So see that, I'm going to put this down. I'm going to get this sprayed, and then hopefully we'll have a front end here in a minute. So while I'm waiting for these to dry, I'm going to clean up these headlights. Actually, I need a turn signal. I got one over here. So I've got some extra turn signals. I need a driver's side. This one, somebody tried to tint it. Yeah, don't do that. Not with a spray can. So I'm gonna see if I can't get that all cleaned off. So I have the gist of the tint off. It's this one. Truthfully, they need to be machine buffed. I'm not going to do that. Machine buffing is great if you know what you're doing, but it's very easy to burn these. I got the majority of the tint off this one. There's still a light in here, which I thought was funny, but I'm not going to bother with that because then there will be a hole in it. So these came out okay. This right here, I'm going to have to go over this one more time. It's got a bunch of scratches in it. Because that's what happens when you don't know what you're doing. That one came out better. So one more quick coat of paint before reassembly. I'm going to let it bake out here in the sun, and I'm going to go to the Village Inn. And just like that, it's put together. Got the headlights polished out. This came out great. I'm really happy with this. The run down here, you can barely see it, but we're not going to, since we're really not doing any real body work. I replaced this headlight. This was a bit scratched up, and I need to do a machine buff on this to get this right. But I had another headlight, so I polished this out. And then put the grill back in, and everything just went together splendidly. So I'm really happy about that. So I got a couple things to do here, and yeah. Busy day. I've actually got to get started on this here a little later. So yeah, so we're gonna jump in the car and I'm gonna head next town over and I'm gonna put this thing on. So, and before I go, the only thing I didn't like was this just would not clean up like I liked it. I had this one, it's cracked. I've epoxied all the cracks in the back. The front looks great, except for this corner here. So I'm kind of leery on that, but we'll take this one. Well, yeah, better put that up here. We'll take this one with us, just in case, and take some zip ties and whatnot. So I guess we'll see you at the next town over. So, I'm seeing the car for the first time. This is a little worse than I was led to believe, but it's fixable. I really sincerely wish they would have washed it first. It's a good thing I brought an assortment of hammers. Okay, so we got it all apart. I'm really finding myself wishing he'd wash this. So now we're going to start doing the initial fit up. So let me show you where we're at. So we got it all apart here. Had to take the bumper off. Everything here looks for the most part straight. This is a little kinked in. Probably going to have to loosen this loosen this bumper up, push this out a little bit. But this side is fine. So there's no real damage to the car at all other than cosmetic. All this looks good under here because apparently the deer missed the bumper, because I've never known a deer to hit anything reinforced. They go for the soft parts. And we just have kind of a mess. I don't know what we're going to do about the hood here. Hopefully, yeah, I'll get my hammer out and see if I can pull this back out. But we'll just have to go from there. So we about got the front end done. Show that to you here in a minute. I got to run to O'Reilly's to buy a couple of light bulbs, and I'm glad I bought that extra wiring harness because the old one was really screwed up. So let's get to O'Reilly's real quick and then back to the house there, and then I'll show you what we did. While I'm back, we had to get some of these little light bulbs for the corners, and I bought some extra ones of these just in case the ones that are in there aren't good. So let me go put these in. We'll get the side markers in, and we're just about wrapped up. Let me show you where we're at. So we got it all back together, except for, like I said, the side markers and the blood. Put that, what's left of that, back in. I had one at the house. I should have brought it. Those came in just fine, but the only thing was this radiator support got a little bent and those just won't go. But we got enough screws and whatnot in there to hold it in, so that ought to be all right. I put the new radiator support in that car over there. I had the same problem. It didn't affect anything, so let's get this put together and then give her a test. Oh, wiring harness. I'll show you what I did. So on the wiring harness, this end was good, but this end got pretty chewed up. So I had a spare one laying around, and I got that in, so that should be good. Put a new light bulb in there, get that put on, and then we'll go do the other side over there. And we got it all put together. It all works. I'm gonna have to get a new plug for this though. That plug is going out, but aside from that, I think we might be done here. So as I get the heck out of Hayesville, as well you should, headed back home, it wasn't bad. It went together. You know, when you're dealing with parts that have been in an accident, especially with a deer, you know, like the hood, they told me the hood was fine. If had I known the hood was bad, I would have brought the other hood. And I would have had fun trying to paint that. But aside from that, we got the front end on. We got all the lights working. And I'm in this for like a total of about 80 bucks. I mean, if that, probably closer to 60 to 65. I had the paint already. So I'm what? Light bulbs and paint, I'm in it for maybe 20 bucks and maybe another 50 bucks for the 60 bucks for the header panel. They'd bought new headlights, so I kept my old headlights. And the turn signal was 10 bucks, I think. So yeah, I mean, $80, $85 altogether. You know, if you know where to get your parts and you got a good source, I am going to have to look for a new plug. The wiring harness plug is kind of screwed up. I mean, for the turn signal, but we did get it to work. I got it jammed in there just right. But that will eventually have to get repaired. But aside from that, I mean, it's functional. And, you know, if they were really serious about keeping the car long term, well, I'd find a hood and a new radiator support for it. But this car's got a lot of miles on it, as you know, and it's just right now, it's functional. They need the car to work. You know, they need the car to work. So we got it to work. And that frees up a little independence for some other people, which is good. Right now the car is just pure form and function for them. And maybe the next owner will love it and fix it up. Maybe the next owner will plow it into a tree. Who knows? Time will tell. But for now, the car's fixed, and it's gonna go back to doing what it was meant to do, getting them to the next thing. The guys are working hard. I mean, they really work hard. Not a whole lot of money out here, and they're saving up for something a little better with a little less miles, and this is going to get them to that. That's what it's about. So I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a good day, and we'll see you next video. And this stopped working again. Crown Vic life.